At 5 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, leading to a whole life struggle and a livelihood of struggle and challenges, not to mention an increase of prices in prescription drugs. Doctors said I was not old enough to get surgery yet, so they prescribed drug after drug after drug. Well, I am not the only one who has been struggling with a pill that costs about $150 per pill. NIH on June 23rd, 2020, predicted that the spending in 2020 would come to be about $1.3 trillion. Annually, the U.S. spends about $350 billion for prescription drugs. And 3 to 6% of it annually worldwide has increased. The treatments alone are about $150 billion each year. What does this mean for the people? Well, today I am here to persuade you that the corrupt PBMs, pharmacy benefits managers, are not being transparent and increasing prices to profit themselves. And pharmacies are basically powerless. I will first go over the problem, the cause, and will finally lead to the solution of these pharmaceutical companies and their situation. What exactly is the problem? University of California on September 29th, 2022 reveals that research and development they claim that research and development for new drugs is necessary. It's necessary to have a higher cost and higher prices for that. In 2019, however, it was $1,200 per person in order to buy a prescription drug. That's how much that per person bought annually. In 2021, it increased 2.56% compared to 32 other countries. And 8 out of 10 adults, claim this is a ridiculous price. American Hospital Association on July 17, 2024, reveals 3 myths. That one is rising price is necessary for research development. And 8 out of 10 manufacturers actually use that for advertisements. So remember those advertisements that say, basically, if you take our product, you're going to have all these side effects. And basically, I say that means death in the end. Why buy something that's going to kill you in the end? 2, a high price in a drug reflects the value of it because it can be a cure. However, it does address the chronic conditions. However, it is not a cure itself. And so these drugs simply become an add-on to treatments and surgeries that are necessary for the patients. Most generic brands are not expensive. It's the new brands with new names. And basically that is false because generic brands are just as high. For example, 2 drugs that treat osteoporosis and high blood pressure cost way too much. This is a widely used product, and between 2013 and 2015, it became impossible to help these people with osteoporosis and high blood pressure, or near impossible. American Academy of Actuaries on July 17, 2024, reveals that the economy in 2016 was up to $3,337 billion, or 17.9% of a rise that year in gross domestic products, far exceeding the medical spending. Now, what exactly are the causes of this ridiculousness? Well, Single Care on March 28, 2022 reveals there has been a major lack of price regulation. FDA has basically no control over the prices. Instead, it is given to these PBMs who are running the show and subjecting patients to big pharma. A hike in prices for the supply chain. The increase of monthly premiums and health plans, which are supposed to help us afford these drugs, have almost no effect. Now, what exactly is the motive? Well, Harvard Health on January 18, 2024 reveals that it has a lot to do with greed. PBMs profit from the contracts which they are trapping the pharmacies in. These pharmacies have basically no say in what is done and are relying on the PBMs to give them the decided profit that is due. Well, what about false promises of generic drugs being lower in cost? And after the research and development? Well, no evidence is connecting the research and development costs to the drug prices in the market. When the drug prices are in the market, they remain high. Even after the research and development, it's really pressing on the billions of dollars that our economy is losing. Marion Starr on July 20th, 2021 reveals a lack of transparency and accountability. PBMs were caught in Ohio in their schemes, and they basically dodged and evaded and adapted to these accusations, denying any accountability at all. Marion Starr on July 20th, 2021. PBMs also have a power play. They love the power play because remember those contracts we have? These PBMs, only 3 of them have 75% of power and over the market. They have 75% control over the U.S. market, and that is primarily the U.S. CVS health market. What about the solutions? What can we do about this? Well, Bipartisan Policy Center on February 2nd, 2023 offers these solutions that employers can try changing or ending the contracts, period, from these PBMs, even though benefits may be lost. They can still cry out in court that this is unjust. Support studies on the corruption and make your voices heard. Communities like Mark Cuban cost and drug companies are aiming to lower the cost of these drugs. And Congress can actually help put policies out that are requirements for disclosure and transparency for these PBMs who have failed, not to mention negotiating with drug manufacturers. Take a 90-day supply instead of a 30-day supply so your prescriptions can last longer. Policymakers and employers should determine how much power the PBMs have and what impact they have on the cost of the drugs. Lawmakers on both political sides, this is a nonpartisan issue, can put together legislations, caucuses, and hearings. We can research the policies they have and support them. Now I've gone over the causes, the problems, and the causes and the solutions of this pharmaceuticals disaster. I am so grateful and blessed that I received that surgery at 30 years old, and I'm able to have only one prescription drug for a 90-day supply when necessary. The thing is that not everybody is as blessed as I am. But if we can hold these PBMs accountable for their corruption, we can assist the majority of people who are going through a financial crisis.